3 squash plants can ruin a 4x8 raised bed by July.
I'm Grant. Fiona's here, and this is Root Insect.
Today we're talking best vegetable plants for raised beds. And I'm already defensive because I love a big dramatic plant.
You love a plant that blocks the path, steals the hose, and makes you harvest while standing sideways.
Fair. The article we're riffing on comes from 10 Seasons in a Zone 6B Kitchen Garden. And the big message is, raised beds reward compact, productive crops. They also punish bad choices fast.
Exactly. Raised beds are wonderful for lettuce, bush beans, carrots, herbs, peppers, cherry tomatoes, radishes, kale, Swiss chard, and trellised cucumbers. But they are not magic boxes where every vegetable becomes polite.
Grant's garden mistake. I once planted 3 beefsteak tomatoes in one corner of a raised bed because the seedlings looked small and innocent. By August, it was like a tomato nightclub in there. No airflow, tangled stems, hornworms living rent-free, and I had to reach in like I was defusing a bomb just to pick one fruit.
And that is why spacing matters. In a 4x8 bed, 1 cherry tomato can be fantastic. 3 beefsteaks packed together? That's not gardening. That's a hostage situation.
So if someone has one raised bed and wants the most food with the least nonsense, what are you putting in it?
I'd go practical. Lettuce for fast cut-and-come-again harvests. Bush beans because they produce heavily without a trellis. 1 cherry tomato, not 4. 2 peppers. A patch of carrots if the soil is loose. Radishes tucked into gaps. Basil or parsley along the edge. And 1 cucumber, only if it goes up a trellis.
That's the beginner bed? No corn? No pumpkins?
No corn, no pumpkins, no vining squash unless you have a plan and extra space. A raised bed is valuable real estate. You want crops that pay rent.
I love that phrase, pay rent. Lettuce pays rent because it's fast and clean in a raised bed. Bush beans pay rent because they're easy to pick. Carrots pay rent if you don't betray them with bad soil.
Carrots are the crop that tells on you. If the bed is loose, deep, and not full of clods, they'll grow straight. If you dump in compacted contractor topsoil, they come out forked, stubby, and weird.
Orange thumbs.
Yes, orange thumbs with emotional damage.
The article also talks bed setup before seed shopping, which is the part I usually want to skip.
And the part that decides whether your easy crops act easy. Soil depth, drainage, and access matter. If you can't reach the middle without stepping in the bed is too wide or poorly placed. If it holds water, roots struggle. If it's filled with straight topsoil, you're asking for compaction.
So don't fill it with mystery dirt from a guy with a dump truck and a confident mustache.
Mix in real compost. Raised beds need structure, organic matter, and drainage. They dry faster than in-ground beds in hot weather, so irrigation matters too, especially for lettuce and cucumbers.
The article mentions the Vigo Garden 9-in-1 modular metal raised garden bed kit. I like the sound of modular because I change my mind every spring.
Modular is useful. You can adjust the shape instead of being locked into one layout forever. But it's still just a bed kit. It doesn't arrive filled with compost, drip irrigation, and a perfectly trained tomato.
Wait, no tiny garden butler included?
Sadly, no. You still assemble it, fill it properly, and think through trellises before your cucumber starts looking for the neighbor's fence.
Let's talk timing. Radishes are the impatient gardener's crop, right?
Very fast. They're great gap fillers while slower crops establish. Lettuce is also quick, especially if you harvest outer leaves instead of waiting for one perfect head. Then, as the weather heats up and lettuce starts quitting, Swiss chard and kale keep earning their space.
And peppers?
Compact, tidy, good raised bed citizens. They may need a small stake if loaded with fruit, but they don't usually try to conquer the walkway.
Cherry tomatoes need support, though.
Yes, cage, stake, or trellis. They're moderate on space, but high on yield. That's why one plant can make sense in a small raised bed.
If you like these practical garden conversations, this is the moment to stick around with us on Root Insect, because we're trying to save you from buying seeds that turn your raised bed into a jungle.
Fiona's 30-second verdict. Yes, raised beds are worth it for vegetables, but only if you choose compact crops and build the bed properly. My concrete recommendation is this. For a 4x8 bed, start with lettuce, bush beans, carrots, radishes, herbs, 2 peppers, 1 cherry tomato, and 1 trellised cucumber. Maybe add kale or chard if you want a longer harvest. Skip pumpkins, corn, and crowded beefsteaks until you have more room.
So the rule is, plant food, not regret. If this helped, hit subscribe. We drop 3 new episodes every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you don't have to hunt for the next one.
Thank you for listening to this edition of RudeInsect.com, Conversations with Grant and Fiona.